this book, this movie, The Book of Eli. The blind guy memorized the Braille Bible, and he's reciting it to a person that's writing it all down. And the version that they say he's memorized is the New King James, okay? And it was published in 1982, all right? It stated that in the very beginning, and it had this in the movie, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Some may not know this, but Paul stated that he went to the third heaven. The first heaven would be where the birds fly. It's analogous to when Jesus talked about right here, he saw Satan fall as lightning from heaven. Well, that's where the birds fly, that heaven, right? See here, Jeremiah's talking about the heavens. Paul said he went to the third heaven. And this here backs that up. For we wrestle not against flesh or blood, spiritual wickedness in high places. Some translations call it heavenly places. So the second heaven, where the firmament is, all the stars, the planets, the sun, the moon is, that's where these wicked, evil spirits are banished to. They can't go to the third heaven where God is. So in Daniel chapter 10, I believe, where Daniel asked God, and God sent the angel to give him his answer, but he was delayed. Well, he was delayed in the firmament in the second heaven there by these spirits. I think it was from the king of Persia, delayed the angel from responding to him. So all these different changes impact your ability to understand the word. So that's what I wanted to reiterate so that you could see. And I'm hoping to offer you some proof here. For instance, this movie Viva Zapata in 1952. I'll go through some different versions of the Bible, but I don't believe any of them was translating heaven. Now remember, the new King James calls it heavens, but apparently the old King James, the very first sentence in the Bible says God created the heaven and the earth. Well, I remember it was heavens. So right here, she's trying to teach Marlon Brando how to read. The character doesn't know how to read. And so she's reading to him from the Bible, again in 1952.
There's a Bible quote from the movie A Book of Eli. They start at the beginning. And here it is again in this old movie with Marlon Brando. Again, this is an example of the Mandela effect. I'm sure they're not reading a version other than the King James, so listen.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Heavens and the earth, not heaven. Heavens with an S. Go read it now. It's been changed. Wake up.
So again, this movie was made in 1952, so they couldn't have been quoting from the New King James Version. All these modern translations did not exist back when this movie was put out. So whatever version they're reading from, it's not the New King James with heavens. If you want to subscribe to the notion that the King James original was not changed, what were they reading from? Okay, this is the clip I wanted to show you from the Book of Eli movie, where Denzel Washington is playing the part of a blind man that has memorized the Braille Bible, and he's going to dictate it so that it can be written down for posterity, I guess, to restart the world after this cataclysm. God created the heavens, earth. Heavens, plural. Old King James, heaven. Think about it.
Just want to put together a quick Mandela effect for all you curveball Earth believers. The same folks that want to say we're having false memories. Yes, he worked for this one here, you'll claim, but I recall he worked for Publishers Clearing.
So growing up as a child, when I was about 13, 14 years old, my father was reading the scriptures to me nightly. And when he read this verse, when he was done, I didn't understand about wineskins. I had no idea what that was. So he explained that the old wineskins, if you put new wine in it, it would swell and then it would burst. This verse makes no sense now. That's why I know it's been changed. So we're in the end times, people. All these changes began at the same time, but you have what people refer to as residue, like this. So are we to believe that these jokes they make of him holding this check in the Roseanne show is just stupid? How would it have garnered any laughs if it was stupid? It makes no sense. Just like the wineskins changed to bottles makes no sense. Wake up.
Hey everyone, it's Howie from The Prize Patrol with a fun fact that may surprise you. Did you know that the late Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse?
It's really, when you look at your career, you have done so many different things. I mean, when you sit there and started listing all those off, I mean, the Publishers Clearinghouse thing, I know it was just a job, but that's kind of turned into something that's very bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy because that's what everybody talks about.
Well, in other news, who among us hasn't seen Ed McMahon's ads for the Publishers Clearinghouse giveaway, dreaming of winning millions in the sweepstakes?
But this is the President of the United States, not Ed McMahon's Publishers Clearinghouse.
I got a Gary, Wisconsin race. I know because I got an alert saying I was officially confirmed as a possible winner of the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Oh, there you go. The only one, right?
Yes, it's just you and you alone. You should go wait on your front stoop. Ed McMahon will be there any minute.
No, Ed McMahon did not come to my house with a check for Publishers Clearinghouse. This is actually the new parade route for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Our very own Dave Sayer is the OG big check guy. Now listen to what Dave has to say about it.
Over 40 years, I've personally awarded over 500 prizes worth over $500 million. Sometimes TV reporters come along with me and playfully ask, what was it like to travel with Ed McMahon? Jeez, come on. They mistakenly think that the late Mr. McMahon worked for Publishers Clearinghouse and are really surprised when I explain that he never did.
They entertained America. Remember that he was a great sidekick to Johnny Carson. Star Search, a lot of stars became famous because of him. Publishers Clearinghouse could have came to my house and said, hey, you're a winner, $10 million.
I remember when he used to come to the houses and people used to win money. He used to be a giver.
He worked for a long-defunct competitor who imitated everything we did, even implying on TV that he delivered prizes to winners' doors. Ed never did that.
You would actually walk up to people's doorsteps and give them the check?
Oh, yeah, sure.
How many times did you present someone with a $1 million check?
I gave away $110 million.
$110 million?
Yeah.
How good must have that felt?
Oh, it's wonderful. We had to have a nurse in residence. Are you kidding me? It's a wonderful feeling, to give somebody $1 million.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
What would people just sort of overwhelmed with joy?
They almost faint. They would almost faint, yeah. Mr. D'Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for...
Yes,
yeah.
Mr. Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up. No.
Dreams really do come true.
¡Hombre, dinero!
No.
Cámaras. Yes,
Ed
con
McMahon,
cameras.
see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever.
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on!
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shout out to my people. This is Ed McMahon, rolling slow through the suburbs in an unmarked van. I ran the strip in the 80s, brought big fat checks to the ladies. When I showed up at their door, they would start screaming like crazy.
That he delivered prizes to winners' doors. Ed never did that.
Raked it in hand over fist, was on the VIP list. I was a verbal gunslinger, and my shots never missed. But now the bills have come due, and my credit score's whacked. So I'm hitting up the winners to get my checks back. Hi, Ed McMahon. Ed McMahon. Remember I gave you that big check? I'd like to have that check back. If you... I'm having some stuff would help a lot. Just a little bit.
He worked for a long-defunct competitor who imitated everything we did, even implying on TV that he delivered prizes to winners' doors. Ed never did that.
Yeah, you're just gonna knock on his door and change his life forever. You're like Ed McMahon, except without the big check.
That's not gonna happen. Something will work out.
There's a God, that'll be Ed McMahon with a bucket of money for me. Oh, Ed, you look awful. You gotta quit drinking, man.
Who are you supposed to be?
Who am I? I'm Ed McMahon. You won our special Halloween jackpot.
Ed never did that.
Now check this out. You win $5 million from the Publisher Sweepstakes, and the same day that big Ed guy gives you the check.
Hello, this is Rose Nyland. What?
That was
I'm one of the winners of the Publishers Clearinghouse? Ed McMahon wants to see me right away?
Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse?
I'm Ed McSomebody with Publishers Clearinghouse, and boy, have I got a surprise for you, Bobby Generic.
That's generic.
Right you are, sir. But that's not all. You've just won $1 billion.
Wow!
I'll tell you why I'm here. I happen to be in town over doing some stuff for the NBC affiliate.
That's right.
And, Ed McMahon, our good friend, could not be here. Yeah. But it seems, David, that you are the $1 million winner.
Oh, my God! I've won $1 million. What are the odds that I would win the sweepstakes?
The odds are astronomical.
Yeah. Sometimes TV reporters come along with me and playfully ask, what was it like to travel with Ed McMahon? Jeez, come on. They mistakenly think that the late Mr. McMahon worked for Publishers Clearinghouse and are really surprised when I explain that he never did.
Most of us probably throw them away, those magazine sweepstakes contest forms, but a few Americans have won tens of millions of dollars for the price of a postage stamp. In the first of a special three-part consumer close-up report. Tonight, Randy Ripplinger has the winners and losers of the sweepstakes. Sad to say, Ed McMahon has never marched up to the Gianola house with $1 million check.
No.
Thank you, everybody. What?
I'm trying to win the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes, okay? I'd like to be the first psychotic nymphomaniac to get a big check from Ed McMahon.
Did you know that the late Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse?
He served as a pitchman for Publishers Clearinghouse and co-hosted TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes with Dick Clark.